Hey everybody. I'm kind of aggravated right now because I just beat. Well, I was right there of Blood Omen 2 Legacy, Blood Omen 2 Kane, and like it's New Year's Day, and I had last saved at 12:54. I was on the final level, literally right there. Literally, when I say I was so close to the end, like I was so close to the end. The game crashed on me. So that's how my journey ends with that. But it's just like I was in the final level, like literally right there. Like afterwards, I stopped playing it and then I went to YouTube and I watched the final part of the cutscenes to know how it ends and everything. And when I tell you that I was right there at the end, I was right there at the end. What can I say about this game though? Blood Omen 2. It's a good game, but you can definitely tell it was an early an early PlayStation title. You know, it was one of them games to where it was janky because it's just like you had your controller, right? And it's just like, yeah, you can look around with your right stick, but you had to you couldn't you moved around. It's a weird control scheme, and that's how the controls are jank a little bit. But the story was fine. I thought the story was fine. At first I thought I had two, but apparently I don't have two, which I'm eventually going to have to get. I have the next game in the series. I have Defiance. And when I say I recommend playing this on either PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, I mean I recommend on those because you can rewind. Now, you know how I am with games. I like to be relaxed. I like to have a challenge at some points, but not to the point of me tearing my hair out, you know? These boss fights were so annoying. And it's just like when I watched the final cutscene, the final boss didn't look that hard. That's the thing. I always feel like retro games do this. They always make either the final boss either hard, really hard, or easy. And they just make the bosses leading up to that extremely hard. Because that's how I feel it. There was one boss that I felt was balanced. And if you have played this game before, it was the boss that was in the church. You know, he goes invisible. He's the one that you get charm from. I feel like his battle was the most balanced because he had lackeys running around and you could kill the lackeys and you could drain them to get health. All the other ones didn't really have that. And Yeah, they were yeah. So I'm talking about this. I haven't even talked about the story, so I'm sorry about that. Guy about the vampire named Kane, who comes from the first PlayStation 1 game. Um, there was a war between the two races. Here I am. I just got done playing the game, and I don't remember the other race other than the vampires. But there was a war between them. Um, it was the demons. Yeah, it was the demons. At first, I thought the person who they were going up against were the humans, but I was mistaken. And so it was a war between the demons and the humans. I mean, the demons and the vampires. And somehow they had their leader had King's sword, and that sword was their downfall, and it left Kane in basically a vegetative state of slumber for over 200 years. So when he wakes up, it's like 200 years later. The demons have basically taken over, and the vampires have gone into hiding. And the vampires that weren't in hiding betrayed their own kind and are basically your power ups slash boss fights. If that makes sense. Because when King wakes up, he's basically powerless. He only has Berserk, I think it's called. He only has one power. So you have to go around trying to find out what happens because he basically has amnesia too. Like he remembers some things, but he can't remember all of the things. So he's going around doing his thing, and he finds out that most of his people who worked under him betrayed him, turned traitor, and those were the boss fights. And so he's led to this place called the Haven, where some powerful vampires live, and they needed to go around. I'm doing like a nutshell because if anybody wants to play the game, I won't spoil much. Um, they do this, they do that, which are all the levels. And then the game finishes, which, as I said, the game crashed. And he's all powerful again because of all the bosses and the battles and stuff like that. And he has his sword back. And yeah, what the pros is the game's badass. Like it's definitely a game of its time because there's a lot of gore. Um, there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of good stuff, and but the cons I want to say it's almost balanced, the pros and cons, because the cons are like it's basically a beat 'em up hell. Because it's like you go so far, you gotta fight enemies, you gotta you gotta guard, guard, and sometimes you'll spend like almost a freaking minute on just one enemy, in the late game, you can have up to 2 enemies. And then you have to fight demons, and then those things are freaking hard to fight. But yeah, one thing I do suggest, if you do play it, like I said before, playing it on the PlayStation 4, 5 version. You can play it on a PlayStation 2, if that's what you like. But I told myself, I said that if there's any games that are on PlayStation 2 that are on like the PS Plus, where I can play it backwards compatible, I'm gonna do that because I'm addicted to achievements. Some games don't have them, but you know how it is. You know how it is. If I can get achievements, I will. But another thing is suck the blood of anybody that you can. I usually don't. I usually don't harm the humans because they don't really give you much. But even if you're full, because the blood, it represents your health that you suck. Just do it to every enemy. You'll get a lot of health. It helps a lot. But yeah, would I recommend this game? Yes. Yes. Play it on the PS5 version. Or if you like to torture yourself, playing on the PlayStation 2 version. Save frequently if you're gonna play on the PS5 version. Save frequently, because I learned that the game crashes. I know game crashes, but I learned the hard way that if you don't save your games, you lose about 2 hours of progress at the end of the game. And they'll want you to go back a level. They'll want you to go back a level. That's not even halfway done. So I give the game, I'd give it 6.5 out of 10. Decent game, Hopefully, whenever I get to Defiance, the next title, hopefully that one's, better, since this one was the jump from PS1 to PS2 for the people who made it. So they didn't really, hopefully they have a more foothold and stuff. But the next PlayStation 2 game I'm going to be playing, which I don't know if I'm going to be directly going to be playing another PlayStation 2 game. We'll have to see, because I kind of want to play Oblivion, because I've never played Oblivion before. And every time I try to play Oblivion, I always stop. This is the year of backlogs, everybody. This is the year of backlogs, because there's not going to be a lot of good games coming out this year. The only games that I'm looking forward to is Pirate Yakuza and I'm on the fence of GTA 6. I'm just going to be honest. I'm on the fence of it. I'm on the fence. But I kind of want to play Shenmue 1. I don't know. There's a lot of games I want to you know, a lot of backlog. But definitely the next PlayStation 2 game I want to play is Avatar. I believe this is the first game, and this is beat 'em up, I believe. Yeah, I got this for $10. So I have no idea when I'll start it. So yeah, look out for that review in the future whenever I get around to playing it, months, or you know, because I heard Shenmue 1 is long and Skyrim's pretty, Oblivion's pretty lengthy. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Happy New Year's, and I'll see you guys in the next video.